Hello friends, I'm Rival. In today's video I'm doing something a little bit different. Ever since I've been young, I've had an interest in history, and especially in World War II. So today, I'm making a list of 5 maps that should have been a Battlefield 5, based on famous conflict locations. These maps stretch across different fronts, but I feel like they all would have given the players a unique experience as well as the opportunity to enjoy a more immersive war experience, rather than what the untold stories have. Let me know down in the comments which maps you wanted to see in Battlefield 5, and which map is your favorite right now. For obvious reasons, I won't be mentioning things like the Battle of Britain or the Battle of Aracord, as these were mainly tank or plane battles, and to be fair to Battlefield 5, they just wouldn't really fit into the game. They'd more likely be great for games like World of Tanks or War Thunder, so we'll leave them out for now. To begin with, I want to mention Okinawa. As the War in the Pacific expansion saw massive success thanks to the maps representing the battlefield experience everyone wanted. The maps and the factions being accurate while bringing a refreshing new scenery to the audience. With new vehicles and weapons, the game felt revitalized. Momentarily. And personally, I would have liked to have seen one more map in the expansion before it was cut prematurely. We've only received 4 maps, which were great, and I think that the addition of the Okinawa map would have been amazing, as certain cosmetics from the chapter rewards were already hinting towards the Okinawa setting. Unfortunately, the early decision to stop support for Battlefield 5 and the outbreak of COVID could have been responsible for the ultimate decision to cancel the development of this map. I strongly believe that this would have been a great addition to end the expansion on, not only due to the amazing landscape the Okinawa island offers, but also because Okinawa was considered the final push towards Japan. With many casualties on both sides, the US had around 50,000 casualties while Japan had 110,000, excluding the citizen casualties in the aftermath of the conflict. The addition of this map would have been yet another step into the jungle, which was one of my favorite features of the Solomon Island design, ended the war in the Pacific theater right where it should. Okay, so the next thing on the list is Battle of France. This is because we got the Netherlands and Belgium maps such as Rotterdam, Panzerstorm and Devastation. In 1939 the British forces landed in France to begin with the fortification and support of France against Nazi Germany. The idea was to build a strong landing spot for the Allies before proceeding to advance towards Germany. Historically speaking, I believe that the British and French mindset was to prepare for a trench-style warfare of digging in and fighting over no man's land. And the best example of this was the Maginot Line, which was made obsolete as the German forces pushed from the Netherlands and Belgium to invade France from the north, showing the Allies their new blitzkrieg tactics and exposing their weak points. Some of the maps we got in France were Provence, Arras and Twisted Steel. However, I think that some more appropriate settings would have been in the Sedan region, such as the Battle of Stone or the evacuation of Dunkirk. In my opinion, these regions would have excelled at breakthrough and grand operation modes, as the region saw the clash between the RAF and Luftwaffe, as well as the French and German panzer divisions. With many open and urban areas to choose from, I think that the Battle of Stone stands out amongst others, as the conflict of the Stone Village has changed hands 17 times according to historical annotations, as well as involving 90,000 German and 42,000 French troops. And the Battle of Dunkirk illustrates the perimeter defense of 15,000 Allied soldiers against the advancing Nazi Germany's forces, with consistent Luftwaffe bombardment in order to save over 330,000 lives of the evacuating Allied soldiers, which would round up the German push of Western Europe. Number 3 on the list is Battle of the Bulge, taking place at the end of 1944 during the Belgian winter months, with snowy and foggy terrain, famously depicted in the HBO series Band of Brothers. This was the final major offensive attempt from the Nazi Germany, trying to push back the Allied forces, also known as the Ardennes counteroffensive. In my opinion, the forest environment and snowy condition would really complement the already existing maps, like Narvik and Visual 652, also making it a complete trio. With a significant historical importance, the encirclement defense, which gave us the famously known "nuts" response by General Anthony McAuliffe to the honorable surrender proposal from the Germans. Furthermore, involving approximately 1 million Allied troops in the conflict. The map concept could really reflect the Ardennes forest from Battlefield 1, this time giving us a foxhole defensive map. With the option to implement the Cedro Baston, which could produce a mix of forest and town area, that could be a more interesting design for a last stand encounter. Next up is Battle of Berlin, which was a mix of Polish and Soviet combatants, making the last push to end the war. Taking place between 16th of April 1945 up to 2nd May, involving over 2,300,000 soldiers. This map could really illustrate the Nazi German capital, similarly to Operation Underground, as well as give the audience an amazing urban experience, just like Devastation map, which is my favorite from the originally released maps, as the destroyed city and bombardments really bring out the feeling of war and pushes the battlefield experience to the limit. The final push for Berlin would be the best way to end a World War II game, as the inspiration for this map design would be many tight choke points and defensive positions, forcing the players to fight for every inch of the front line, most likely fighting from every door to door, room to room, ending the match iconically by raising the Soviet flag over the Reichstag, similarly to the image of soldiers raising the American flag on top of Iwo Jima. The last map is the one that haunts me the most. It is depicted in most of my favorite World War II films and old games, and it was the one I was hoping to see the most in Battlefield 5, the Allied invasion of Normandy beaches, D-Day, which happened on June 6, 1944, landing over 156,000 Allied troops. This was the beginning of the American and Allied invasion of Europe and is the most iconic map in my opinion, with storming the defenses on the beach and pushing up against heavily fortified bunkers on the hills, as well as paratroopers attacking the enemy rear to secure the landing spot for the Allied forces and open the way back into Europe. I already imagined certain similarities and improvements from the Iwo Jima breakthrough mode, as infantry would need to secure the beach to allow tank and support to begin landing and pushing up against the defending team, with heavy barrage from the hillside flak fire and MMGs from the bunkers. Let me know down in the comments what you think of the list I've come up with, and what sort of map ideas you have. And if you agree with the map ideas or simply enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel, as I regularly upload weekly videos with quality content for you, so don't miss out. But for now, I'm going to end this video, and if you want to stay connected with me, make sure to give me a shout on Instagram or Twitter. The links will be down in the description below. And now, I wish you all a good day or night, wherever you may be. Stay safe. Till next time.